Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Forex market wrap. We're going to highlight the key levels that have been hit this week, and let's jump straight in. So looking at the news for the week, what did we end up with? Well, we expected the two central bank announcements to remain the same in terms of the RBA have left rates at 0.1%. The Bank of Canada have also left rates, but at 0.25%. So no changes really here. Nothing really as well that was too shocking to the markets, and nothing that wasn't forecast. So everything went quite smoothly with those two currencies. We did see CAD slightly weaken off of the back of their rate statement. Basically, they have kind of talked about that they won't hike as aggressively as planned due to the latest sort of new variant of COVID-19. So they're hesitant to kind of jump the gun there and hike rates, but they're still expected to hike rates, but not at the start of the year, more the middle to end of next year so far. But obviously that could change, and we could see plans to hike rates earlier again if the Omicron variant does pass quite quickly. CPI data out of the US today, we was expecting a little bit of downside. We did get the downside, but it wasn't as big as a drop as what was expected. So CPI was expected at 0.7, but it was actually 0.8. US economy is still very strong at the moment, so weren't expecting a real reduction in CPI at all, and that's the case. I think it's just more likely going to shrug that move off. We have seen a little bit of weakness come into the market after it, but nothing substantial. Going on to the dollar index then, so we can see we have the weekly and the 4-hour time frame here. Pretty much stayed within that range once again. Still waiting for a catalyst to get moving. December is usually a poor performing month for the US dollar, so I am still looking for pullbacks into potentially the swing highs here. What we need to see, however, is this 4-hour trend break to the downside. Once we get that, then we can be fairly confident that the dollar is going to start moving a little bit lower. Going on to euro then, very similar situation here. We're expecting the dollar index to pull back, expecting euro dollar to move to the upside. Seasonally, the euro has one of its strongest months through December. The dollar usually has one of its worst performing months through December. So euro dollar long makes sense to look at. We talked about in the week ahead analysis video and a previous video on euro dollar that if price was to break out of this support in trend line area here, then we could see some further upside from this key area around about 112.90. Price did come into that today around about the CPI time, and we have started to see buyers come in after that CPI data. But if it's going to be sustained, we really want to see it trade above this sort of 135.90 or at least 113.70. If price can trade above those, then it'll be likely that price is going to head back to the 115 level. Going on to dollar CAD, so we featured dollar CAD this week due to the fact that the market was moving back into a risk on sentiment, and what we saw was price has rejected that 128.25. We'd broken through last week's low. Price retesting around that area currently. So if we were to see some sellers step in here, then we could look for further short ideas on dollar CAD next week in and around this price, as price has started to reject this major swing level. Finally then, Pound Aussie we featured due to the fact that the market was moving back into risk on sentiment and the Australian dollar was getting stronger. That pushed prices of Pound Aussie to the downside. There was two options that we looked for in our latest video. We looked at the head and shoulders pattern here and a reversal to the trend or a break of these lows, which we have now seen. So this is a market that could continue to push a lot lower if that risk sentiment remains, and we could see prices all the way back down into these weekly lows, and what we could be looking for is pullbacks into structure before another impulsive phase. So thanks for watching the videos this week. I really hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more of our Forex content, and I'll speak to you next week.